Hey everybody, this is Craig at JCB Music. Hey, we're going to be working on Rolling in the Deep by Adele today. So let's get to it. Now this is a really cool song. It's got a couple different things going on in it. For one thing, it uses these power chords. This is called a power chord. You know, if I asked you to play a C, you could play an open C like this. You could play a barred C like this. That would be called an A shape because this is forming the shape of an A with this finger, and you're barring the third fret on the fifth string is the root, which is C. So that would be a C bar chord, A shape. You could also play a C bar chord in an E shape up here on the 8th fret. Now this is an E shape bar chord because these fingers are forming the shape of an E. If you slide it down, you can see how it's an E there. And therefore its root is going to be on the top string, wherever that barring finger is on the top string. And so that's on the 8th fret. And here we've got F, G, A, B, and C. So this is our C bar chord here. But another way to play a C is called a C5, which is a power chord. And what that means is basically you play the root note, this is C, 3rd fret on the 5th string, and then you play one octave above that. You play one octave above it on the 3rd string 5th fret, and then you add to that with the 3rd finger on the 4th string 5th fret, you add what is the 5, so called the name, the 5 of that C. And the 5 of C is G. So that note is G right there. So you got C, the octave above C, and then the 5 of C, which is G. So you play just those three together, and you get that. So that's the C5. So this song, the verses are going to use all of these power chords, and we've got this C5 here. Then if you just take all of these fingers and just move them up each one string, it's also a 5, a power chord. But now it's resembling more of an E shape because of these fingers. Like, since these fingers are on the upper strings, if you look at it, this is an E minor for instance. So if they're on the upper strings, then your root, this is like an E shape, and so the root is going to be on the 6th string wherever the barring finger is. So that's G. So this one we'd call a G5. Here's our G, octave above G, and then the 5th of G, which is D. So this note is D. So we would use these two basic shapes in this song. And the chord, so here's our C5, our G5. Then we're going to use, and this is A, so we could call this A sharp 5. So C, G, A sharp. And then there's one more chord in this progression, which would be this one right here, which is the G sharp. Because here's G, G sharp, and then A sharp, and C. So then our chords sound like, like that, using the power chord. When you're playing this chord, when you move up, see how your thumb is sort of in between the frets of this G and this A sharp. And so the chord shape can kind of pivot around that thumb. You can do a faster change by just going like that, shifting, keeping your thumb sort of centered there. Now the other thing is the interesting thing about the counting. If I count this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So these changes on everything but the very beginning chord, which is always on the 1 of the beat, are actually on the and. So if everything were on the beat, it would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. But in this case, except for that first chord, everything is going to be on the and. So if we count it 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and then back to the 1, 1. So that gives a little bit of a different feel. Fire started in my heart, reaching a fever pitch, and it's bringing me out the dark. Finally, I can see you crystal clear. Go ahead and sell me out, and I'll hit your shit there. See how I live with every piece of you. Don't underestimate the things that I will do. There's a fire burning in my soul, reaching a fever pitch, and it's bringing me out the dark. The stars of your love remind me of us. They keep me thinking that we almost had it all. So now what's happening in that part of it, you could call it a pre-chorus there. What's happening there is now we are on the beat. We're still using our G5, G sharp 5, and A sharp 5. And what we're doing is the scars of, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1. So that little quick shift there. So the scars of your love remind me of us. They keep me thinking that we almost had it all. Almost had it all. The other thing that I haven't mentioned is all of this is using a palm mute, especially when you use those power chords, because you can only play the 3 strings that you're holding down. Or so the palm mute really helps. And again, the heel of the hand is just resting against the bridge, and we're using this motion against the string. So, or if we wanna, we can move the whole hand against the strings right at the bridge, and that gives us like, that gives us our muted sound, our palm mute. So we're using that in the verse. Now when it gets to the build-up of the chorus, we're going to use should I had it all, rolling in the deep, we took my hand hard again, that you played it to the beat. Back to the palm mute. So here we're using we're using the full bar chord here. We're using a C minor. This is C minor, and then we're using just A sharp, the major, G sharp, and then back to A sharp, back to C minor. So there's our box right there. And our strum here is we're letting the strings ring out, and instead of just 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And so and our main strum is over all of the strings, and the ands are kind of like in the middle. So we got our accent, da 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 da. And then come back up. So there's our box there for the chorus. Okay, so we got the verse, we got the pre-chorus, and then we have the full strum ahead for the chorus. Now there's a breakdown in the song which still stays on that C minor, but it uses an up strum, so we can do this sort of thing, like so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So an up strum on the end. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and like that. Throw yourself through treasure gold. Pay me back in kind. You want your soul. And then we let the chords breathe a little bit. And then build it back. Could have had it all, rolling in the deep. You took my hand inside of your hand, but we played it to the beat. And on our C minor. Now I should probably also mention, just to be complete here, that I've been saying use this C5 chord, the A shape one, whose root is on the 5th string, 3rd fret C, as the chord in this sequence of power chords, and also using the full bar, the C minor, also as an A shape. See, that's an A shape with the root on the 5th string, 3rd fret C. But you might find it easier to use this one right here on the 8th fret, because that's a C. C5 there, C5 there. So then the sequence is, there's a fire burning in my soul, reaching a fever pitch, it's bringing me out the dark. Finally I can. So then you're staying all on the top 3 strings. And then when it comes into the chorus, you're rolling in the deep. You have my heart inside of your hand. Like that. So instead of this box, you can just go. So that's a choice. You can often play the same chord in different positions on the neck, and just depending on what the song calls for, or what the next chord in the progression is, you might choose one over the other. I've always played it here like that, but you might find that this is easier. But that's a kind of a far drop from there to there. Here the drop is just like this, from these strings 3, 4, 5 to strings 4, 5, 6. The other thing that's cool about this song is I've been singing the melody. This is in the original key of the song, the key of C. I've been singing the melody a whole octave below where Adele is singing it. So this song is actually very well suited to a female voice or a male voice if you drop the melody a whole octave. I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. I will see you next time, and peace out.